Hi everyone, Linda from Let's Talk Prepping. And I thought we should talk about power outages because whether it's the weather, hurricanes, winter storms, or something really long term, we need to be prepared. So let me tell you a little story. I have a friend who has a propane whole house generator, and we had a power outage for about a week from a hurricane. And after 3 days, his propane ran out. Whether he had a full tank or not, I don't know, but it ran out. And then he called the company and they said, "We're not delivering propane, only to emergency places such as hospitals and places like that." So he had to call around and find a new place to get propane. And you know how hard that would be in a power outage. And the same thing's going to be true if you have a gas generator. The gas stations aren't going to be working. You're not going to be able to get more gas. And gas doesn't store that long. And if you have a solar generator, again, if it's weather related and cloudy, windy, hurricane conditions, winter storms, you're not going to be able to recharge the solar generator either. So what you have to do is prioritize. Now, what I mean by that is you have to decide what's most important. Obviously, his family didn't decide on what was most important. And they just, as soon as the lights went out, the power generator, the whole house generator just went on, and they went on living as normal. But you can't do that. You're going to have to decide what should go on and what shouldn't. And you're going to have to make sure that you don't use the dryer. The stove takes a lot of energy. Air conditioners take a lot of energy. You've got to say what's most important. And if this is going to last a long, long time, how am I going to keep my water pump going? Um, you don't care about the computer and lights in every room. You're going to have off-grid items in order to survive. You've got that kid who wears his clothes one time, throws it in the hamper, wants it to be washed and dried. No, you've got to say that's not going to happen if we have a long-term outage. And even if it's only a week outage, that's a long term in terms of a week when you're trying to survive without electricity. So you need to get all the things that you would need without electricity and without a generator. You need like the USB fans, the USB lights that you can plug into a small solar generator. You need alternate ways to get water. Maybe you've got a hand pump you can put down your well. Maybe you've planned and you know where the stream is, where the pond is, and you've got the wagon to pull the water so that you don't have as far to walk with those and carrying those heavy jugs. You've got to have it all planned. You might have a small camp stove, or you know how to cook outside. In the winter, you have heating, and you know how to heat your home without electricity because you know the propane's not going to last, the gas isn't going to last, and you're saying, well, I don't think it's going to be long term. That's fine. Then, but prepare for at least a week. What are you going to do? Now we've got all the illegals coming across the border, and there's always rumors of military-age men, Chinese guys coming across who are going to sabotage the electrical grid and attack America. Well, our electrical grid is so bad that I don't think they'll even need anybody to sabotage it. It's probably going to fall apart in places. And if that happens, you really have to plan for long term without any electricity. No hot showers. You need your alternate sources of water, heating, cooking, and I'm assuming you have food, you need clothing, you need your sanitation. I've done other videos on what you can use for heating and for winter clothing and cooking, so you might want to check those out. But you got to have the sleeping bags if you haven't gotten the sleeping bags. You've got to have the ways to get water. You have to have the ways to maybe cool off a little bit. If you have a basement, at least you can go down in the basement. It might not be really cool down there, but it's going to be probably 10 degrees cooler than it is up in the main part of your house. So plan on these things. Think about what you're going to do long term because it is coming. There's no way we're going to get around it. It's coming. We're going to have power outages, even if they're only rolling blackouts. And the more they push electric cars and electric vehicles, the more electricity is going to be used, and it's just going to hurt our grid. Our grid can't survive and can't keep up with it. And the other thing that's happening, did you hear that Biden has said no more gas generators to be manufactured unless they can meet the emissions? And it's in a few months that he's going to do this, and I guess it takes years for the generator companies to try to meet the emissions. So if you need a gas generator, now might be the time to get it before they're banned. So think about all these things, and even if you have the whole house generator, know that it's not going to last long term, and you're not going to get more propane. And if you have the gas generator, you're not going to find more gas. Solar generator, once the weather clears, you might be able to keep it going for a while, but you're not going to be able to power all the things you're used to. Figure out now how you're going to survive without all of this, especially the water, your food. You've got to have the food, the seeds, the gardening. How are you going to water your garden without electricity? What are you going to do? Do you have your rain barrels all ready to go? So maybe you can water your garden using rainwater. Think about all of this. Now is the time before it happens. Give me your comments down below. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching.